Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, damas y caballeros, bienvenidos, and welcome to the Alamo Dome, San Antonio, Texas, USA, where tonight, Bob Arum and his Top Rank Incorporated is proud to present an evening of HBO World Championship Boxing for your entertainment. Sponsored by Tecate, Cerveza con Carácter, and Smart Communications of the Philippines. All bouts are sanctioned by the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation. This first contest presented in association with All Star Promotions and also sanctioned by the World Boxing Organization, WBO President Francisco Paco Barcarcel. At ringside, the three judges scoring on the 10-point system: Dr. Ruben Garcia, Levi Martinez, and Don Trella. And inside the ring, in charge of the action at the bell, in his 64th world title bout, U.S. Army First Sergeant Rafael Ramos. And now, let's get this party started. 12 rounds of boxing for the vacant WBO Junior Featherweight Championship of the world. Fighting out of the blue corner, wearing red, white, and blue, officially weighing 122 pounds. Professional record, 21 victories, including 18 knockouts with only 1 defeat and 1 bout even. He is the former WBO Super Bantamweight World Champion de Residencial Barbosa, Bayamón, Puerto Rico, W2, Wilfredo Vazquez Jr. And fighting out of the red corner, wearing red, official weight 121 1/2 pounds. Professional record, 27 victories, including 18 knockouts with only 1 defeat. And he is undefeated over the last 10 years and has won 26 consecutive fights in a row. From General Santos City, Philippines, the 4-time world champion, the Filipino Flash, Nonito Donaire.
Okay, guys, you see the pre-fight instruction. Recibiste las instrucciones. Protect yourself at all time. Protégete todo el tiempo. Give me a clean fight, una pelea limpia. Okay, and remember, no one is more professional than I. Let's do it.
Is Donaire capable of punching through one division after another, as Manny Pacquiao once did?
Well, that depends.
We need evidence.
Yes, it depends on who's in the other corner. But he does have that ability, though, Larry.
Well, we will find out.
Back to the corner, Alekina.
Until he does it, he hasn't done it.
Round 1 begins, and you heard what Donaire said about wanting vengeance for what he saw as disrespect at the news conference. I don't care about the belt. I don't care about the money. I just want to knock him out.
Well, everyone has talked about the height of Donaire and his ability to move up in weight because of it, but maybe it's his stance, Emmanuel, but he doesn't show that he's any bigger than Vazquez right here.
No, it seems to be this is probably where his weight is. But, you know, Larry, it's so little difference between the weight division, 122, 126. It's only 4 pounds, unlike years back when it was like 126, next stop was 135. So to move from one division to another is really not that much nowadays.
Our measurements found Donaire to be 5'6" and Wilfredo Vazquez Jr. 5'5.5". So officially there's only a half-inch height difference between the two, and that's pretty much the way they look in there, I think. One of the things I love about Donaire, Emmanuel, is his clear focus and concentration. The way he always has his eyes fixed on the target, and he takes his time. He's patient.
That's a very good part, Jim. A lot of people underestimate the value of the eyes, the concentration. keeping your balance position. He does everything perfect. He's always at great position from balance, as well as his head and body position. But right now, his movement and speed, upper body speed and hand speed, is a little bit too much for Vazquez. Vazquez hasn't did anything yet, but he's going to open up in a moment. But he's having a problem dealing with the speed of Donaire, and every time he does punch, you almost see Donaire waiting on him to try to counter punch. So he's a little leery whenever he does throw a punch that he's going to get caught with a counter punch.
In terms of foot movement and stance, Donaire's in a boxing mode, but he's throwing punches like Sonny Liston. This is a hard punching mentality.
You know, I was funny you mentioned it just when I was looking at the foot. Vazquez is a little bit flat foot, you know, with his feet is a little bit more flat as compared to Donaire, who's operating more from the balls of his feet, and that gives him a little advantage in moving in and out better than Vazquez.
But he's making Vazquez miss, and he's blocking whatever comes his way.
Left hook by Donaire. His best punch, or at least so it appeared against Montiel.
This looks like the 13th round of the last fight.
Take deep breath right away, okay? That was good, Nonito, okay? It was good. Keep your cool. Don't try too hard. We got plenty of rounds. Take your time. He's gonna fall into his own trick, okay? He's trying to counter you. He's waiting for you to throw, and then he wants to throw after you. He's slower than you, so you're gonna catch him when he throws, all right? Just keep your cool. Keep using that jab. Don't get too excited. We got 12 rounds, okay?
He's slow. When he brings your hands up, bring it up, right, baby? He can't hit me. He has no power.
Vazquez was a second-year pre-law student in Puerto Rico when some family situations, including the murder of his father's grandchild, forced him to make another decision. And for the first time around in his late teens, he got into the ring, and his father made him work out for a year and a half before he allowed him to have a fight.
Box numbers in the first round. Donaire was 11 of 44, and Vazquez was 7 of 29. Donaire landing, it appeared, the harder shots in the first round as well.
Well, Vazquez didn't throw too many punches the first round. He's fighting a very conservative, laid-back fight. I think he's intending to try to step it up as the fight goes on. But also he's having a problem with the fast counter punches, particularly of Donaire whenever he does punch.
Slip. And you saw Vazquez mugging at Donaire after Donaire hit him with a left hand shot to the body, and Donaire's response to that was to step up and hit him with the two-punch combination.
Yeah, well, trying to beat force with farce doesn't work very often.
Vazquez starting to unfurl his jab, but so far throwing one punch at a time. Obviously trying not to open himself up to Donaire's combinations.
Exactly, Joe.
There's actually a little mark under the right eye of Donaire.
Like a mouse. Another hard left-hand body shot. I haven't heard much about Donaire as a body puncher, Emmanuel, but he throws to the gut with passion.
Yeah, he punches with accuracy and power. With any punch that he delivers is very, very accurate. And the thing right now, I think Vazquez, as he opens up more, which he's going to have to pretty soon because he's getting behind on points, he's going to leave himself open to get caught with power shots more.
Donaire on the belt line with the body shot. You saw between rounds that he's trained by one of the rising prominent trainers in the sport, Robert Garcia, out of Oxnard, California. Garcia wasn't going to become one of the most illustrious trainers in the sport with fading talents like Antonio Margarito, but with somebody like Donaire, he can make the kind of splash that, for instance, Freddie Roach has made with Manny Pacquiao.
And I think he has, don't he have Ortiz also?
Yes,
Ortiz
also has Victor Ortiz.
Yeah, Victor Ortiz. He's got some good young talent coming up.
Oh, no, wait a minute. Excuse. He does not have Victor Ortiz. Victor Ortiz is trained by his brother Danny Garcia. It was a family feud.
He has Brandon Rios.
Yeah, that's right. He has Brandon Rios.
Right. I know he had another young talent.
And in fact, Donaire has sparred from time to time with Brandon Rios. There's Rachel Donaire, wife of Nonito. And when we talk about the altercation between the two at the news conference, Wilfredo Vazquez Jr. told me that had to do with some Twitter exchanges involving both Donaire's wife and his own wife.
It's just a matter of rounds.
Another implication of Twitter.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting how so many of the boxers' wives and girlfriends has got to be such a big part of our broadcast nowadays.
A brave new world.
Papito, no lo salude, que esto no es amistad aquí. Papito, mete esa recta al pecho. La próxima vez que te
Straight shot to the chest. Hey, listen, keep your guard up so you don't get hit. Okay? You good? Okay.
Gambia box numbers in the second round. Donaire 20 of 58, including 14 connected power shots. Vazquez 9 out of 32. So in the first two rounds, Vazquez has not really made the effort to be on the same page with Donaire in terms of punches thrown and landed. He's waiting.
You see Donaire start jab, but he's not really driving hard jabs. He's trying to get Vazquez to start jabbing back at him. And soon as Vazquez start getting into his jabbing game with him, then he tries to sneak a fast right hand over top.
Earlier in the round, Emmanuel, we saw Donaire lead with a left hook. It'll be interesting to see if he does that again. If you're going to lead with a left hook, you have to have the footwork to get in position to do that. Roy Jones could do it. Floyd Mayweather can do it. And now we know that Donaire can do it, too.
Donaire can do it, too. He's one of those very gifted athletes, very well coordinated. I call him, remind me of a gymnastic in terms of coordination and strength.
Now he's giving Vazquez a different look, dropping his hands. And he rips Vazquez with a left hook lead. And there was a perfect example. Can he finish him now?
He's trying to land that uppercut through the center.
Yes, it's going to take an uppercut if Vazquez is going to guard that way. Vazquez gets out of the corner and kind of grins as if that's a victory.
Well, that sudden imitation of Sergio Martinez ended with a clean left hook that led to that barrage in the corner.
It's amazing that he did so much damage to Vazquez with a punch that I don't think was even that clean. It just shows how much power that he has for a small fighter.
Well, he's fighting small powers of fighters, Emmanuel. Why is that so exceptional for a little guy if he's fighting another little guy?
But see, you don't see small fighters punching with that type of power. They're just very unusual. I mean, his knockouts are devastating. In fact, one of the most devastating punches I would say in boxing. And normally that should be with the heavyweights or middleweights or something.
Well, we always talk about how you get hurt most by the punches you don't see coming. I think Vazquez was looking for a jab, and when Donaire ripped him with the lead left hook, he wasn't ready. Another great body shot.
Enjoys what he's doing, okay? Okay? When you hurt him, don't get too wild, don't get too crazy. Pick your punches, okay? Even if he's hurt, make yourself look good. Step to the side and get him with a good uppercut or with a good hook or to your right, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Toalla.
It's a towel.
Papito, necesito que cuando esté cuerpo a cuerpo me meta la mano abajo, que está aquí con la mano abajo.
Here you see the left hook that hurt Vazquez, and as you can see, it was very difficult for Vazquez to even see where the punch was coming from, and it wasn't really even a clean blow.
Well, it came over his glove.
Yeah, that's right.
Landed on top of the side of his head.
That's just a demonstration of the tremendous power that he has.
How can you generate that much power off that particular stance?
Because he springs from his leg, uses his full balance and with it from his legs, same way that Nassim Hamed used to punch.
Yeah, that was a little bit like Prince Nassim. Donaire 14 out of 40 in that round. Vazquez 3 out of 25. Harold, how do you have it through 3?
Okay, Jim, I got a 3-0, 30-26. Nonito Donaire. Jim, I gave him an extra point in round 3 when he almost knocked out Vazquez. But I got to tell you, I ain't seen a top-notch fighter fall for a feint like that in a long time. I mean, he did a monkey imitation, and then he hit him with a bullshit left hook from God knows where. And Vazquez fell for it and almost got knocked out. I mean, it's unbelievable the power that this kid's got. First 2 rounds, Donaire won easy because Vazquez is not doing nothing. 3-0, Nonito Donaire.
There's a mouse under Vazquez's left eye now. Vazquez is starting to land this jab, as Donaire acknowledges by nodding at it.
Well, Donaire, he gives off the vibe that he really wants to make a statement impression here. And I think that Vazquez gets the vibe and trying to figure out how to counter it and deal with it. I mean, the way he's lowering his hands here insolently, as though inviting Alvarez to try something.
Vazquez.
Vazquez, sorry.
These uppercuts are short, tight, and hard.
Yes, it's, you know, the more that Vazquez starts opening up and punching back, the more he's going to get caught. Even when he lands a punch, he doesn't land with the authority or the speed that Donaire lands his punches with.
Donaire holding the right glove open as though to parry Vazquez's
exactly
punches.
what he's doing. Yes, he's trying to parry and then counter punch with the same hand that he parries with sometimes. And it takes great coordination to be able to do that.
Showing off his head movement.
It's as though Donaire has abandoned the idea of just breaking down Vazquez and is looking to land one punch that would lead to a dramatic close.
Double jab, right cross combination from Donaire, so fast. Vazquez, pretty good fighter, keeps sticking that jab in there, getting a little bit more resolute in this round after having been out of the first 3, but it's another left hook from Donaire. Nonito Donaire was 9 years old when he was brought from General Santos City in the Philippines to the United States. Yesterday, he spoke to us about the difficulty of his genesis as a Filipino-American. He says he was an awkward kid.
He was one of those kids that just had to be picked on. You know, my ears were huge as anything. You know, my tooth was as big as a beaver. You know, it was everything that anyone and anything. So I was kind of like the fat kid in the playground.
The fat kid?
Is what we call it.
In the sense that you were picked on. The target.
Yeah.
You were the target.
I was the target, and I was never picked because I was scrawny.
You were never picked for games, or
never picked for games. But mostly, I was mainly the target. You know,
were
people.
You bullied around a lot?
I was bullied around. I would go home crying every time. I'd go home and then say, you know, why am I living?
He's living so we can choose him for our boxing team. 59 out of 179 in the first 4 rounds, 29 out of 119 for Vazquez in power connects so far. And we spoke to you before the fight about Donaire's move to more power punching. He's landed 43 power punches in the fight, Emmanuel, to so far only 5 for Vazquez, who hasn't really tried many.
I am very, very impressed by his performance tonight. He's fighting a perfect fight with a fighter of Vazquez's ability, because Vazquez has a good defense, he's very patient, but he's still systematically breaking him down with punches the best that he could, because, you know, Vazquez won't throw too many punches. Leaving her, he found a little left uppercut in between that little movement right there.
The consensus top 5 pound for pound: Mayweather, Pacquiao, middleweight champion Sergio Martinez, Juan Manuel Marquez, whom you know well, and Donaire. Some ranking services rank Donaire ahead of Marquez in the number 4 spot.
Well, I have him right up there, very close. I mean, he hasn't had the big fights or the big names, but when we're just talking about Marquez is, Martinez is.
Yes, Martinez's
all
style.
Those M's get me a little confused, but talking about his style. But the difference is, even Martinez, good as he doesn't score that kind of knockout the way that this man. Outside of the Paul Williams fight, he's not that devastating a puncher. This guy is tremendous as a puncher and a showmanship type fighter.
Hard right hand by Vazquez, his best punch of the fight so far. Right hand onto the cheekbone of Nonito Donaire. And Vazquez lands his jab again. He's loosening up just a little bit.
Yeah, he's wanting Vazquez to come in. If you notice he's doing, he's enjoying that. He wants him to come in and give him more opportunities to counterpunch.
When he parries with that right hand like that.
I like that. It reminds me of the old-time fighters where they use a shoulder and the right hand to parry and roll punches.
Floyd Mayweather Sr. still teaches it.
Yeah. Beautiful. See there, he's rolling shots with his left shoulder. And he's rolling the right hands and picking off the left-hand punches.
Meanwhile, Vazquez is having his best stretch here.
Yes, he is, Larry.
Yeah, we mentioned that he's getting a little bit looser and more fluid on offense, more willing to throw. CompuBox running total at the bottom of the screen shows you that the difference is not nearly as large in terms of landed punches in this round as has been the case in the 4 previous rounds. Last we looked, it was 14-11. And it's a little bit more even fight now as we exit the 5th.
Want some water? A little bit, Ben. I'm good.
Dame la toalla.
In the towel.
Dame la toalla.
Come on, Papito, you gotta pull those punches out. Only one hand in my face, please. Are you good? Yeah. Is there any problems with your eyes? No, I can see.
Agua. Okay, don't try. And now let's switch that uppercut to a hook.
Both fighters in this fight seem to make weight fairly easily, 122 pounds. When we get to the main event, one of the 2 fighters in that bout struggled mightily to make weight, and it could affect tonight's tilt. We'll talk more about that when we get ready for Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. against Marco Antonio Rubio. Right now we're in round 6. Nonito Donaire in the burgundy-colored silk trunks, gleaming in the light here, and the bright red, Wilfredo Vazquez Jr. Donaire more or less thoroughly in control of the first 5 rounds, though the best round so far for Vazquez was the 5th. Well, another slight change in technique for Donaire.
And it's another good round for Vazquez. It's going. If he wins this year, the way it's going, he's going to have 2 rounds at least. He's won consecutively. He's picked up his pace at the risk of being hit, but so far he's getting away with his shots.
So you would have given him the 5th?
I would have given him the 5th. See, I thought it was, you know, some of those rounds would be like comparison rounds, but I would have given him the last round.
No question, Vazquez is becoming more comfortable in the fight, pressing forward offensively now, throwing many more punches than was the case in the earlier rounds. Donaire switches southpaw.
I think this switch to southpaw reflects a certain kind of uncertainty about Donaire on how to attack Vazquez. Bloody nose for Vazquez, by the way.
Just a touch of blood on the tip of his nose. Just missing with a big counter right there. Nonito Donaire. Vazquez much more energetic with his jab now. Letting it go. And he's landed 7 more punches in this round than has Donaire by CompuBox count. The fight's becoming more interesting.
I think Vazquez is winning this round also, but I feel that Donaire is kind of like pulling him into throwing more punches so he can catch him going down the stretch. That's just my feeling.
Still to come tonight, the main event between Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. and his 160-pound middleweight opponent, Marco Antonio Rubio. Rubio last year scored a dramatic upset of an unbeaten Canadian star named David Lemieux. He'd like to pull off the same feat against Chavez Jr. tonight. And there's a look at Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. We mentioned that one of the 2 fighters in the main event struggled to make weight, and not for the first time in his career, it was Chavez Jr. He is a big middleweight to begin with, and yesterday when he came to the scales, he was in tough shape. We'll be talking about it with Larry Merchant in the lead-up to the main event. CompuBox numbers in the 6th round. Donaire 14 out of 43, Vazquez 25 out of 69. So Vazquez landed 11 more punches and threw 26 more punches in that round. That's a dramatic reversal from the numbers of our previous 5 rounds. And Harold, how do you have it through 6?
Well, Jim, I get it a little bit closer. 4 rounds to 2, 58-55, Nonito Donaire. Jim, I think Wilfredo Vazquez won rounds 5 and 6 using that left jab. He's moving forward. He's walking Donaire down. He's landed a lot more. But here's the problem. Wilfredo Vazquez throws 1 punch at a time. Watch. You know, a 122-pound guy is supposed to double something. For 6 rounds, this guy doubles nothing. 1 punch, 1 punch, 1 punch. And you can't win a fight throwing 1 punch. Wilfredo Vazquez has got to stop moving his hands and double something. On the other hand, Nonito Donaire can't switch to lefty because if he does, he cannot protect that right eye. He carries the right hand high so that right eye doesn't swell anymore. If he goes southpaw, it leaves it wide open. 4-2, Donaire.
And Emmanuel, you were suggesting toward the end of the last round that you don't think Donaire cares much about having lost a couple of rounds because he's letting Vazquez come forward to set up counterpunches.
Yes, he wants him to engage more. I think he knows that his punching power is so much more power, more than Vazquez. He wants to get him committed to standing toe-to-toe more.
Well, this is as toe-to-toe as you can get. This is toenail to toenail.
Going to do something new with you right now. For the rest of the round, we 3 commentators, Larry Emanuel and myself, will lay out while we listen to Robert Garcia in Nonito Donaire's corner, if, in fact, he hollers any instructions into the ring.
Again. Good. Good. Again. Let it go. 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 You stand him. You stand him. Hey, that wasn't low. That wasn't low. That wasn't low. That was not low. That was not low. That was not low. Let's go, Nonito. Take it to him. Take it to him, Nonito. Jab. Let's get the jab going. Let's go. Come on, let's go. Take it to him. Hands up high. Good, again. Side to side, side to side. Good, good.
I don't recall Donaire having even this small stretch of rounds where an opponent has stood with him, boxed with him, fought with him. He hasn't begun this much to think about in a while.
And actually has won the last couple of rounds, in my opinion.
Hard left hook by Donaire, momentarily wobbled Vazquez.
Nonito, listen to me, okay? He can't handle your pressure. You're landing too many punches, but you're giving him a lot of breaks. Okay? Breathe deep, deep. Breathe deep. Okay?
No problem.
That last hook hurt him. Okay? It was the bell rang, but you hurt him. Okay? I want to see more of that. How is his power? How's it? Huh? Okay then. Then I want you to keep fighting smart. Oh, sorry, I'm so sorry. Get in the tone. Okay? Keep fighting smart. Come here, let me see. Okay, keep going smart, but let's try to pressure on him. Let's back him up. Let's back him up. Okay? Let's start backing him up. He cannot handle the pressure. Let's start backing him up. Side to side. Let's go, guys. Let's go.
Combi box numbers in round 7. Donaire began to reassert himself with power shots. He was 22 out of 55 in the round. Vazquez 19 out of 64, but Donaire doubled Vazquez in connected power shots, and you saw the big left hook toward the end of the round that momentarily wobbled the Puerto Rican fighter.
Well, this is what Donaire wanted him to do, is to punch more and get exchanges with him and not fight so defensive. That's what he wanted Vazquez to do. Now Vazquez is fighting the fight I think that Donaire wants him to fight.
Making Donaire a pretty smart guy if this pays off the way he wants it to.
He quit applying so much pressure and let Vazquez, so to say, get into the fight for a while. And right now, his punching power and accuracy is still, I think, too much.
Yeah, well, it certainly appears that he's not worried about being hurt by Vazquez. Although, as Harold pointed out, there's the subject of the right eye.
I got it.
There's also the subject of Donaire moving up in weight. You know,
Agreed.
We keep, you know, it's just 4 pounds, but it's 4 pounds in little guys. And for all we know, his punches don't carry the knockout power they might have in lower weight classes.
At 118.
And 115, where most of his fights have been.
Excellent point. And if he were to fade down the stretch of a 12-round fight while moving up in weight, he would be hardly the first ever to do that. That's happened plenty of times. Hard right hand and a really good body shot. Vazquez shaking his head as if to say, you can't hurt me. Excellent uppercut. Vazquez lands a jab. Body shot by Vazquez, couple of them. Donaire comes back with a right over the top. The danger of throwing the body shots, you get counted upstairs.
Don't push it, don't push it.
You know, and Donaire is very, and you throw a right hand at him, and he'll like partially block it with his left hand and then throw a left hook at the same time with the hand that he blocks. That's the same punch that he knocked out, I think, Montiel with. And that's what makes it so dangerous when you throw a right hand at him sometimes.
Montiel launched a right, which was in effect a cue for Donaire.
Yeah.
Donaire's
And
big left hook.
Came a left hook right over top of it.
Like that.
To dag fat.
You're the one, Larry, who said farce seldom beats force. What do you think of Donaire mugging at Vazquez like that?
Wanted to roll out a roll of toilet paper.
Water, Bobby. Let's go, Papito. Look at me. Papito, yes, Daddy. Come on, you got to set it up. You know, there's just 2 uppercuts. Uppercut in the right, left uppercut too. Because he's feeling those also. Get in the middle of the ring, don't get to the ropes. When he gets into you, attack him with those uppercuts.
Okay, Nonito. Okay, let's pick it up. Let's pick it up.
CompuBox numbers in 8. Donaire was 19 out of 31. Vazquez 15 out of 61. Donaire doubled Vazquez in power connects, 16-8. So he was far more accurate and more powerful in that round. Now we go to the 9th. He may not get the win, but Wilfredo Vazquez Jr. will get some respect for having turned the fight around to a certain extent,
Yes,
got back on the same page with Nonito Donaire.
Think the same thing, Jim. And he's very good defense, and when he had to take a punch, he's taking a punch. He's coming on, he's working behind the jab the best he can without committing to the point where he leaves himself open. Right there.
Hard right hand by Donaire.
Every time he jabs, he's got to always be watching out for a right hand to come over top.
Let's go.
Very little body punching in this game. If Donaire wants to be a knockout puncher, he's got to invest some time in body punching.
He did it early in the fight when he was throwing rights and lefts to the body. More recently, not as much.
Well, even then when he was throwing the Vazquez was blocking him for the most part. He couldn't get through, and then both guys have a fairly high protective cup too when it comes up over the very.
Well, Larry,
There's found a left.
Good shot.
What a couple of punches. Tremendous uppercut, and the left hook to put him down.
And really, and all the time, Vazquez had his hand up. He found a hole between the gap. That's because of the very accurate punching power.
First time Wilfredo Vazquez Jr. has been down in his professional career.
And there we saw some signs of that quick-handed power. But Vazquez seems pretty stable despite that.
It was a remarkable combination, though.
Vazquez just wants to get out of the round now. Sometimes it's smart to run from your troubles.
He caught me. He just caught me. I was just standing right. You got to throw more than just one punch on the inside. Come on, you're doing a great fight. You got to throw punches.
Here we see the left uppercut to come right up through the center. Even though Vazquez had his right hand on the side to protect for a left hook, Donaire has that great sense that of talent of knowing where to throw certain punches that you can't give, and he brought it up right through the center.
Watch him pause, admire his work, look for the opening, and put him down. Patience.
Again! Come on! Come on! Yeah! Like that! Nonito!
Robert Garcia's reaction in the corner.
Robert Garcia did a fantastic job working with Donaire as well as Rios.
Good trainer. Power punches in the 9th. Donaire was 9 of 15. And Vazquez 5 of 10. You saw the knockdown. Harold, how do you have it now?
Okay, Jim, 88, 81, 7 rounds to 2. Nonito Donaire. You know, Jim, Wilfredo Vazquez, his only hope in the last 3 rounds is he's got to start throwing right hands. I mean, the whole fight, all he's doing is that left jab. He hasn't thrown a real right-handed anger, God knows how long. Now he's starting to come across with a right hand. He must have hurt me. He's got to throw a lot of right hands and try and, you know, offset some of that point lead that Donaire's got. Donaire's definitely got an extra point to round 9 for the knockdown. I thought he won round 3 so big I gave him an extra point. 7 rounds to 2, Nonito Donaire.
Two minutes left in the 10th. You got the impression coming in that Donaire was very focused on trying to get a knockout, particularly having developed a vengeance motive against Vazquez Jr. as the result of what happened at the news conference this week. Will he be satisfied with a thoroughly effective win and having knocked Vazquez down? He should be, I think. He's moving up in weight. It's not an unappreciable factor.
No, but he's still going to go for that knockout, though. And the thing here, even though Vazquez is doing very well, you know, he's just leaving himself open without leaving himself open. Just those short punches that Donaire can come up between the middle, and he has so much power in those shots.
Well, Harold mentioned that Vazquez must throw right hands. The danger there, of course, is that counter left hook.
The counter left hook.
We've seen it.
No risk, no reward.
Another slight trickle of blood from the nose of Vazquez. Donaire's face shows punishment too now.
This is a tough fight for Donaire still too.
Oh, there's that counter left hook again. Vazquez through the right. Donaire nailed it.
Looked like they was exchanging hooks, but there's so much more power and accuracy on Donaire's left hook as compared to Vazquez.
Well, Donaire's been looking for a quality opponent, and to a certain degree, found one tonight. He's been hit more in this fight than in any of the other 4 fights tracked by CompuBox. But we talked about him wanting to press for the knockout, and he's doing it right now, though with only a few seconds left in the round.
Roy Jones moves in.
He's got the Roy Jones, the Sergio Martinez.
Yeah. But those are 2 great fighters to have those out there. Sergio's got the footwork and the body, head movement, the whole little rhythm.
Don't give these rounds away. Okay? Don't give the rounds away, Nonito. Okay? Okay, don't give the rounds away.
Then broke
okay,
his second.
Okay, keep it cool. Keep moving side to side. Okay, you gotta do it. You gotta win this 2 rounds. Don't give them away. As soon as you land punches, you're hurting them, Nonito. Come on, you gotta see that too. You see it? Okay then, let's pick it up. 2 fucking rounds is all we got. Okay, 2 rounds is all we got. Don't give rounds away. You let him throw too many punches and you're not coming back. Okay? Let's go.
CompuBox numbers in the 10th. Donaire 28 out of 50. Vazquez 22 of 61. Donaire an 18-13 advantage in power shots. Landed some heavy stuff down the stretch as he was trying to knock Vazquez out. He's already put the fight away on Harold Letterman's scorecard, barring a knockout disaster. Well, once again, to Vazquez's credit, he's pressing forward in the face of heavy punishment and trying to find a way to change the circumstances of the fight, even though it's very late.
Very good defense, too, he is.
Wilfredo Vazquez Sr. wasn't particularly interested in his son becoming a fighter. At the moment when Wilfredo Vazquez Jr. determined that he was going to leave free law school and attempt this, his father said, you have to train with me for an entire year before I will let you go into the ring with somebody. Vazquez Jr. fulfilled the prerequisite, satisfied his father that he could do this, and the result has been an excellent professional career, including a world title.
And he's fighting a good fight tonight, even though he may lose his fight. Most likely, he's fighting a very credible fight that I would ever have to see, consider him one of the top fighters in the world at the 122-pound weight division.
You okay? You okay?
Headbutt.
Watch your head. Cuidado con la cabeza. Let's go.
Accidental head. No blood. A lot of people think of Donaire as a relatively new star, but he's 29 years old. Hasn't lost a fight since his second professional fight back in April of 2001. So it's been nearly 11 years. Unbeaten over that span. Knockout win over Victor Chinian, the tremendous knockout win over Montiel. As we mentioned, he's risen to the top 5 pound for pound.
We gotta get this round, all right? Okay, Nonito? Let's go. Let's pick it up, Nonito. He cannot handle you. Let's go, Nonito. Finish strong this round. Listen to me. Let's go, Nonito. Let's finish strong.
Last round. Last down. He's robbing. He's taking the fight. Taking the fight away. Come on, lively, lively. Lively, papito. Close your eyes. Drink water. It's the last round. Good.
Rachel Donaire watching at ringside. Last round upcoming. Donaire has landed 204 punches in the fight by CompuBox count, only 148 for Vazquez. Donaire with 128 to 50 edge and power connects. In the last 2 rounds, Donaire has landed 57 punches. His 2 highest connect rounds of the fight, softening Vazquez up to try to produce the big knockout in the 12th. We'll see. Donaire dancing now from side to side. He's shown all the elements of his game tonight, Emmanuel.
Yes, he got hit with a few right hands, you know, along the way too, though. Vazquez did hit him with some right hands that he didn't counter. He just was hit with them. But I think he's still shown that he has enough control, that he feels at least, in the fight. He can do what he wants, pretty much how he wants, without being in the danger of being hurt by Vazquez.
Well, I think he's shown that he's a really good fighter. This is a good win for him. But I'm not ready to bronze him yet. He hasn't knocked me out, or Vazquez for that matter. But you want to see him take on maybe some of the real featherweights out there and see what happens.
You know, I would like, even though he may not stay in that weight, I would love to see him and Gamboa, what Gamboa stated. That would 2 well-coordinated guys, brilliant amateur backgrounds, punching. That would be a brilliant fight I would love to see.
Are you officially the trainer of Yuriorkis Gamboa now?
Yes, but even without being a trainer, I'm just speaking as a fan. I would love to see Gamboa and him fight at 126. If he goes up to 26 and Gamboa stays at 26, I thought it would be a very entertaining fight.
I totally agree, because everybody thinks that Gamboa has potential top pound-for-pound type talent, and certainly has potential top pound-for-pound type speed.
Okay, let's go.
Robert Garcia has now told our interpreter, Jerry Olaya, that Nonito Donaire has hurt his right hand. And so perhaps that affects the question of whether he tries for a knockout here. You know, Sergio Martinez lost considerable luster when he went 11 rounds and got his nose bloodied against Darren Barker. He also produced the late knockout that sort of redeemed it a little bit.
Look, this kid has been put under the microscope because of the hype and hope in him. Made the number 4 or 5 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, etc. And so the expectations have to be high. And very often the question is, yes, did you win, but did you live up to expectations or even exceed them?
And for everyone who's been so excited about the prospect of what Donaire can do at featherweight, for instance, at 126, did his inability to knock out Vazquez raise questions at 122? Or was it a tremendous performance against an all-around terrific fighter?
Yeah, I think Vazquez fought a very tight defensive fight, very careful, very cautious, but still fight just offensive enough to make it interesting.
So they complete the 12 rounds. And Harold, how'd you have the scorecard at the end of the fight?
117, 109, 9 rounds to 3, Nonito Donaire. I mean, I just think Wilfredo Vazquez just didn't do enough, in all honesty. Nonito Donaire landed the harder punches, got an extra point in round 9 for the knockdown, got an extra point in round 3 because he won it very, very big. Totally dominated the fight. I gave Vazquez the 12th round, but all in all, it was a Donaire performance, no doubt about it.
I had an 8 rounds to 3 at 1 even.
Harold, who are the official judges?
Okay, Jim. Tonight we have Dr. Ruben Garcia. He is a physician. He doesn't practice medicine. He's been judging forever. He's a pretty darn good judge. I like him very much. He's from South Texas. Levi Martinez, my hero for that decision. He voted for Matthew Macklin in the fight with Felix Sturm in Germany. And you know, I've watched that numerous times. Matthew Macklin definitely won the fight, didn't get the decision. So Levi Martinez is a real, real good judge. Don Trella from Connecticut, somebody that I had a lot to do with getting into boxing. He's been judging 11 years, 57 years old, judged all over the world. He judges in New York and Connecticut, very steady, always usually, you know, always has the right decision. Good judge.
Rachel Donaire, waiting at ringside for the official decision and waving to our camera. Thank you, Rachel. There's Nonito, who had a spirited discussion, as you saw in the center of the ring, with Wilfredo Vazquez. It certainly appeared for a while as though they weren't any closer friends than they had been at the beginning of the evening, but eventually the obligatory hug, a sign of respect. Here's Donaire holding out his hands, and it appears there's blood on the left hand. We were told it was the right hand that was hurt. Apparently we misinterpreted, or it was casually wrong, but the bottom line is it appears it is the left hand which has somehow been damaged in the fight. And now let's go to Michael Buffer and find out the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds here at the Alamo Dome, we go to the scorecards. Ruben Garcia scores it 115 to 112 for Wilfredo Vazquez. Levi Martinez scores it 117 to 110 for Nonito Donaire. Don Trella scores it 117-110 to the winner by split decision, the Filipino Flash, Nonito Donaire.
Well, there was one fascinating scorecard there, considering that Donaire scored a knockdown of Vazquez and had gotten a 10-8 round from Harold Letterman earlier in the fight after a violent assault in the corner that almost knocked Vazquez out. It's fascinating that Ruben Garcia had Vazquez winning the fight 115-112. That would take some interpretation to figure out. But Trella and Martinez both have it 117-110, and so it becomes a split decision victory for Nonito Donaire, who landed 68 more punches, threw 8 more punches, landed at a 42% connect rate, which is exceptionally high. Power punches even more one-sided. landed 91 more power punches, threw 82 more power punches, landed 60%, and yet was seen by one of the 3 judges to have lost the fight. Punch Zone will show us where those punches were landing throughout the fight. And on the left, you see Donaire and where Vazquez's punches landed against him. 136 to the head, 24 to the body. And then on the right, you can see that upstairs, Vazquez took many more shots. 207 punches landed to his head, 24 to the body, for a total of 231. And now Larry Merchant stands by in the ring with the winner, Nonito Donaire.
Thank you, Jim. Congratulations, Nonito. Split decision. Were you surprised by that? Were you worried when the last decision was announced?
First of all, I want to thank the people here in Alamo Dome, Texas, San Antonio. I love you guys. All the Filipinos that are here, all the Mexicanos that are here. Muchas gracias. Puerto Riqueño too. Thank you guys. All the Latinos, thank you, and the Filipinos that are here to give me support. Thank you so much. I love you guys. Thank you for this opportunity.
I did want to know how much you loved everybody. But I want to know
to
how...
answer your question, you know, I was surprised because, I mean, I played him well. I mean, there was jabs that was landing, but nothing particular that could have taken any rounds. I mean, there was a time that he'd give me something, but I thought I did good enough to win every round.
Every round?
Well, not majority. Let's say majority.
Well, did you hurt your hand? Because it looks hurt. You look like you have blood. And when did that happen?
I think it happened from second to fourth round. I know it was early when I felt it. And I didn't, you know, for me, I'm a fighter. I'm a warrior, so I'm prepared for anything. But it was early on that I really felt it.
Is it possibly broken?
You know what? I have no idea. There's something wrong with it, that's for sure. It's very painful, and I can move it a little bit, but not as much, you know.
How did you find it fighting a bigger guy for the first time in the featherweight division?
They're definitely more tougher than expected, you know. I thought my power was going to be able to take them down. I just couldn't find the rhythm. You know, maybe I was caught up with all the controversy that went on before. But you know what? I gave all my heart, but definitely the bigger guys are tougher than expected.
So is it going to take a while before you move up to 126 to establish yourself in this division?
Definitely. I think that I got to, you know, I'm not happy with my performance today. I didn't give the things that I needed to do, but because of the hurdle, the hands, and I couldn't do anything, what Robert's telling me. So we got to go back to the drawing board, work hard, and do the best that we can as always, and be thankful for everything.
Congratulations again, Nonito. Jim?